And this is the danger with the U.S. back line that people have been talking about coming into this World Cup is how do they rate with pace? Sweden loves to flick balls on. You don't get a look from this view, but Hope Solo caught actually coming back to her own goal and had to turn around quickly. The fact that she was still able to set and make a save was tremendous because she was actually facing her back to Schellin.
A great escape back for the United States. Here comes the corner. Schellin has been missing opportunities at this World Cup, but you've got to give it to Hope Solo, one of the best goalkeepers in women's world football. She showed it there.
And that's the difference at this level, is you have a goalkeeper in goals that can keep you in a game like that. How many times in this World Cup have we seen where someone cannot come out with that save? And this is where they're so dangerous, and that's off Carly Lloyd, your own player. You're not expecting that. Hope Solo, good positioning, but Schellin really should do better with that.
I have to say the defence was horribly square. It was once or twice too in the last game against Colombia. A little bit of a worry, something they need to sort out.
And that's an area they've focused on because they know Sweden loves that flick. They don't anticipate it coming off Carly Lloyd's head though.
Long ball by Forsberg towards Ökvist. And I think you're seeing already that this is a game where the United States will have to be tight defensively.
And that, of course, is a good call by the referee. Ökvist in. But you gotta love how she's fighting. She's getting to every one of those balls in behind the U.S. back line. She's making a hopeful ball look good.
Both teams will be, we know, in the quarterfinals. But who plays Brazil and who plays Australia will be determined by what happens here. This time from a long way up and way off target. Carly Lloyd, who got a first World Cup goal in the last match against Colombia. Here's Sonaga. She knows all about Sweden, of course, and what they can do.
She does. Played in 2 World Cups. Was such a great player with them, and they asked her before the game how she wanted Sweden to do in this World Cup, and I loved her response. She said, honestly, I don't really care.
I think it was a subject she was trying to avoid, the mixed loyalty theme, understandably. At the moment, her loyalties are very much, of course, with the United States. Forsberg plays it inside to Ökvist, who started very well. Good possession football here from Sweden. Schellin. Ökvist again, joining in the play well as looking a threat going forward. There's the long cross, goes a long way. Krieger was very good there to get that out of harm's way.
And that is a difficult ball because Hope Solo is thinking at first she's going to come for that. And a defender, as we saw in the Australia game, doesn't know. We just saw that happen. A miscommunication was in the back of the net.
It's Sweden who've carried the greater threat early on here. As the experienced Sjögren curls this ball in. Fischer was attacking it and goes behind. It's a difficult start, this, for the United States.
And Sweden putting a ton of pressure in the midfield as well. So here is that look again. Fischer, she's tall and she's big. She's going to be a constant target and strong in the box for Sweden on these corner kicks.
Away by Bueller. Pelbit's done well there. Noticing Ali Krieger in a bit of space, the right back. Brought down by Carly Lloyd, breaking from midfield. She started every game in this calendar year, Carly Lloyd. Sjögren and offside here, a bit careless really that by Ökvist, who still doesn't realise, now she does, that she was a yard or so offside.
And the U.S. here, you can see they're holding their line. Good job by Bueller and Lepelbit on that back line to stay with it because there's such a tendency to want to run with Ökvist.
Ökvist did score at the last World Cup against Canada as well. She's pacey, she's powerful, a bit injury prone as well.
She brings a totally different dynamic to the Swedish side, though, because Landstrom, who she replaced, is a more target post-up player.
Helped on by Shannon Box, who was rested for the last game. Just to give legs a chance to freshen up. She's past her 34th birthday in this tournament. Tremendous player. She's been for the USA for a long time now. And indeed, got her first World Cup goal against tonight's opposition, Sweden, in 2003. Is the pacey Rodriguez. Well worked. One back, taking it quickly. Good effort.
Very good effort by the United States, because Amy Rodriguez faced up. She saw that she had space, nicely weighted ball into Abby, and worth a chance.
Abby Wambach's only recent goal in a friendly against Japan. Good header that was. Picked up by Sjogren on that far side.
You can see Lauren Cheney already all the way over on that other side. She often drifts into the middle. She's a more natural central player.
Back on her post now. That's nicely worked between Shaylin and Dahlqvist, and Shaylin again pressuring the defence. What's the referee giving here? She's given the penalty kick, I believe. And is there going to be a red card here for the denial of a goal scoring? Well, it is only yellow in the end for Amy Lepelbeck, but Sweden have a penalty kick.
And that was lucky she didn't get a red. Let's take a look at it again. She comes in clumsily, gets her with her arm. Here's another look. Too clumsy, which she gets her on the backside too. That's a good call, I think, by the referee.
But was the original foul outside of the penalty area? That's the only question there. And Sweden might feel that Lepelbeck was lucky not to get red there for the denial of the goal-scoring opportunity, because the next player was the goalkeeper.
And we saw that happen just last night. Bayramay for Germany gets the penalty kick, and France lost its goalkeeper in the process.
Now Hope Solo, who came into this game 781 minutes unbeaten for the United States, has to face a penalty here by Lisa Dahlqvist, who's the daughter of a former Swedish international, Sven Dahlqvist. Got to be on the line is what the referee's saying. I hope Solo being clever here, making Dahlqvist really wait a long time before taking this. And it's a brilliant penalty, and Sweden are ahead here, and they have been the better side early on. The shutout record is broken.
And this is a well-struck penalty kick, because Hope Solo did a good job of almost getting there. She read the right way, but Dahlqvist put enough on it that it was already in the back of the net. And a good start for Sweden. They came out pressing, sending numbers. Good positive start for them.
This is a good test here for the USA, what they made of. Rapinoe trying to make inroads down the right-hand side. Krieger gets the cross in deep. Lepelbeck, determined run. Cheney off target.
And a great test for the United States. And I always think these tests are vital to shaping you during a World Cup and how you react to them. A chance for them to say, all right, we're okay here. Not the way we wanted to start this game, but let's get going. Well, it's a stunner for the United States. They've got to do something about this.
Otherwise, they're going to be facing one of the tournament favourites, Brazil, Marta and co. in the quarter-finals, but there's a long, long time to play. The problem, I think, for the United States defence, seen it a couple of times, is too square.
They do get flat, and they love to play a super high, aggressive flat line.
Sweden have been impressive in exploiting that early on in the match here. Bühler under a bit of pressure from the pacey Erkvist.
And there's a perfect example of the pace of Erkvist, and Bühler struggling with that. She had a good 5 yards on her, and Erkvist beat her to the corner flag.
Tunebro to take the corner kick here for Sweden, who are full of confidence early on. Solo's got a bit of work to do there as well. That's surely a foul by Fischer. Well, it's uncomfortable watching for American viewers, but it is nonetheless intriguing.
And the U.S. knows they only need a draw to get through this group. I think that gives you hope as well when you go into a game like this.
Only a draw? That looks quite a tall order currently. Bit of a miscue that time by Fischer, and Krieger winning the header for the United States. Megan Rapinoe deputising for Heather O'Reilly on that side. Different type of player. Doesn't have O'Reilly's pace and ability to hit the byline and pull crosses back, but Rapinoe's got her own qualities, of course, as we've already seen here. She was 26 yesterday, Megan Rapinoe. Cheney, that's a nice ball for Rodriguez. Only one back to aim at. Lloyd's arriving. Here comes the cross. And that's a horrible piece of defending by Sweden. One back. Cheney! Wide of the post. Terrific opportunity, though.
Oh, and you can see by her reaction, she so badly wants that back. Abby doing such a great job to just lay this off gently. Perfectly placed, and oh my goodness, was that close. Nice sequence, though, by the United States down, and here's the penalty kick again. She's clearly in the box when it happens, but just a little bit clumsy again for the United States on that back line.
Look at Sweden celebrating the goal, conducting the orchestra, the goalkeeper, Hedvig Lindahl.
But there's an area the U.S. can take advantage of. That right side of Sweden's defense. Svensson, you could see Amy Rodriguez. I think she actually could have taken another touch, taken it into the box, beat her on the inline there. She served it early.
That's the shock scoreline here. Sweden leading the United States by a goal to nil. Cheney again, and this time over.
Cheney always seems to be in the right places at the right time. One of those good forward instincts, and she just doesn't get a hold of it on this one. It's coming up on her. Need to hit it a little bit earlier off the half volley there. But she gets herself in so many good positions.
This is only the second time in the 20-year history of the World Cup that the United States have been behind in a group match. And they have never lost a group match so far. The other time was against North Korea. 2-1 they were behind, but equalised 7 minutes later. Here's Wambach looking to find a way through. Good response from the United States, but there are defensive issues here for the team.
Wambach battling with Fischer, and she takes so many hits during a game. Is sitting on that yellow card. Has to be careful with those 50-50 battles. Being careful isn't something in Abby's dictionary, actually.
Now would be a fine time for a Wambach goal, wouldn't it? Or any goal. Rodriguez nearly didn't quite get enough on it. The USA do look as if they have a goal in them somewhere here. Shalin again under a bit of pressure. It will be a free kick to Sweden.
Sweden has been working a ton on their set pieces, very focused on this, have always traditionally been very good with their height as well at set pieces.
Sjogren, that wasn't the best one from her.
That's not what she's been practicing.
The USA promptly gave the ball straight back to Nabru. They're looking to play angled balls in behind. Obviously done their homework a little bit on the United States, and bet your bottom dollar Germany are doing exactly the same, sitting in the stands here. So there are things to be addressed on the training ground. Now then, Amy Rodriguez wide. Megan Rapinoe to play it back in again. Cheney deflected. Goalkeeper punches it away somehow, and Sweden survive. Flag was up anyway.
Rapinoe on the in-line, trying to serve that early ball in, and there it is. Lauren Cheney offside on the far side.
Fischer's little nod on for Sweden.
Erkvist with her pace, she just gets to everything. The defenders think they have time, and all of a sudden she's in their back pocket.
It's a big threat. There's no doubt about that. Here's Annika Svensson with the throw. Made a debut against the United States last year, the right back. That was a 1-1 draw. A similar finish here would give United States top place in the group, but this isn't a game where defences are on top, not by any stretch of the imagination. Svensson's long ball forward again towards Erkvist. That came off Christy Rampone's head almost unwittingly, it seemed. FIFA World Cup continues from Germany on Saturday. Quarter-final action, England against France. Great game, also available ESPN3.com. 11:30 a.m. Eastern for that one. Lloyd's little flick on. And that one from Cheney that whistled just past the post, I would have put the mortgage on her putting that one in, and I'd have lost it, wouldn't I?
You could see her reaction too. She wanted that one bad. Knew she should have had it on frame.
Good composure that by Cheney. Just assesses the options, and then Shannon Box's ball is rather disappointingly out of play. Just that question to Abby Wambach at the moment. Just taken a knock to the head. I don't think it's the heel injury that she's had a problem with for the best part of 14 months or so now.
But there was another indication of Sweden giving her some nicks. I mean, those take their tolls. We keep seeing these super slow-mos of Abby going to the ground.
Sweden, the 2003 runners-up, losing after extra time in the final against Germany that year. But they've never won all three of their group games in World Cup history, despite their distinguished history in the game. It's given straight to Lapalbet, but her outstretched foot presents the ball once again to Josephine Erkvist. Here's Dahlqvist, who scored for the second game running with the penalty that puts Sweden ahead here. Tunebro down the right-hand side to Sjogren. Shalin. Sjogren once more. Good fluent play and good build-up, patient build-up from the Swedes. Intelligent play. This is something Colombia couldn't have done in a month of Sundays. Keep the ball this long. That's how this game is very, very different. One-back, lovely turn. She might not be scoring, but she's doing a lot of other good things for the USA in this World Cup. And now Rodriguez bent her run quite cleverly, but the flag has gone up. She was just offside at the crucial moment.
She was tiptoeing along that line. You could see it. She wanted the ball a little bit earlier, I think, and then trying to come back for it. Good job by Sweden holding their line. Sweden looking very fluid, just everyone moving off the ball for each other, good angles, lots of options when you get the ball.
Say it again though, the USA are a very strong second half team, so this issue is a long way, of course, from being settled.
And you're seeing right now Amy Lepelbitz having to step into midfield a lot on number 16, who's getting the ball right now for Sweden. And what's happening is the U.S. ends up playing with a 3-back when she steps. That's when you find the big seams that Sweden's run through.
Cheney. Goalkeeper didn't really get just a hint of a fist, I thought. Yes, a corner kick.
Good little touch by Lindahl, because Abby is sitting there licking her chops on the backside waiting for that one to come in. And all she needed was to redirect it a little bit.
One of those goalkeepers who likes to tell off the defence.
One of those, isn't that every single one?
Yeah, most of them, yeah. I think Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United, he was the leader in that department. Here comes the corner kick for the United States. And Carly Lloyd attacked that, and it stayed out. Chance, by the look of it.
All the target types on the back post for the United States. Shannon Box, Carly Lloyd, Abby Wambach. They're going to be playing for set pieces today.
Here's Lauren Cheney. Christy Rampone in her 4th World Cup, the skipper, the last survivor from the 99 triumph. Rapinoe's angle ball was not the best one, really.
And that's where the U.S. needs a little more patience. Hold the ball. If Rapinoe's not going to attack and go at that defender, then hold it.
Sjogren, plenty of alternatives here. Thunberg wide out to the left. They go through the centre. Erkvist had just got in behind. Whether she was onside or not, not quite sure, but she'd got the wrong side of the American defence. And this time the referee plays Sweden in Erkvist. Shaylin trying to play Darkvist in. Lovely play from Shaylin. Beautifully played. Darkvist again. Sweden hitting form in this game, somewhat ominously, you'd have to say.
Shaylin's so good at those little through balls, playmaking out of that seam.
Svensson wanting to plough away forward from right back again. The speed, the quick feet, almost balletic. Shaylin attacking it near post. Erkvist is really a big thorn in the United States defence side.
And you got to believe they've scouted that on the United States. There she is again, Shaylin getting the near side, but Christy Rampone doing such a good job of staying goal side, getting a nick. But you got to think they're looking, they're scouting. Are they looking at Amy Lepelbit at left back, Rachel Bueller at center left back?
Ball in behind here. Rodriguez might be able to make something of this if she's clever enough. Oh, and it hits the top of the bar. That is unlucky.
Good idea by Amy Rodriguez. She fights off the defender, gets her body positioning just right. And it's a great idea, just couldn't execute it because Lindahl caught way off her line in no man's land. Unlucky, really, for Amy Rodriguez.
He was on a really good run of goal scoring going into the World Cup, but Is yet to get off the mark in the competition. She did have some good chances in the earlier games. So we had the opportunities, the United States, despite how well Sweden have played and how threatening they've looked themselves. No telling how this one might tilt. Good game.
Really good game on both sides.
Fischer. Again, Shaylin had got the other side of lapel bet if the pass had been accurate. Cheney back helping her defence, as she has to do as a left-sided midfield player occasionally. Track back, help out Amy lapel bet on that side.
And this is where the U.S. needs to think about getting the game back in their hands. They're doing a ton of chasing, holding the ball, having a little more patience, finding a rhythm, and then it will come.
Talbot with the header away. Just thinking about Abby Wambach, missing 2 days of training. I mean, how important is that in terms of sharpness for a player, Julie?
I think with Abby, I mean, she's been doing that so much this year because of that heel issue that she's just trying to manage, that it's not as big a deal.
Typically tough pose from Rachel Bueller, who wants to go into a career in medicine like her father, who is a heart surgeon. This is a bit of a test for the heart rate, this game. Tunabru to Sjogren, really good player wide on the left, very confident on the ball. She's running her 172nd cap. That's a mistake by Bueller. And it's Sjogren looking to take advantage, and a free kick to Sweden. What is this? 25 yards out and central.
And again, you're just seeing a little bit of clumsiness on that back line. Bueller chopping in. Really should have been cleaner on that first touch. And these are the games you look at on film and go back and grow from. But the U.S. has to get better in this first half on that back line.
Well, I think they need to get in there at half-time. If they can't equalise and try to sort things out a little bit, what they can't afford to do is let in a second goal here, because that would be a big mountain to climb. It's Fischer to strike it into the wall and deflect it in. Sweden are 2-0 up. And the trouble mounts. Niela Fischer with a deflected goal past home solo.
You can see Abby in the middle of that circle. She grabbed the team together. Sweden doing the dance right next to the U.S. Off of lapel bet in the wall. Takes an unlucky deflection. I mean, you can't get any unluckier than that, where Hope Solo's going one way and knocked right in. But really, that's a free kick that never should have been given in the first place if you don't make that foolish foul right there. That's a situation where it was a clumsy foul that you shouldn't even be giving up. And now the U.S. is truly going to be tested here with their reaction to that second goal.
2 goals down. What can the USA do about this? A big element of luck about the second, it must be said, but it was an error by Rachel Bueller that led to the free kick in the first place. Rodriguez with a little layoff. The spirit of this side will be tested as never before now. We've had setbacks along the way on the way to this World Cup. Remember the last team to qualify after the shock defeat against Mexico in the qualifying campaign. Look at Erkvis's pace, almost Olympian speed she has.
She has caused some problems today. And Christy Rampone was actually in the midfield when that play started. She had jumped in, and she was able still to catch her, to show you the pace of Rampone on the back line. But Sweden is doing such a good job of pulling them apart. There's the deflection from Lindahl's viewpoint.
The shot was going on target, so I think Fischer will be credited with the goal. Unless FIFA, of course, in their wisdom, decide to call that an Amy Lepelbeck own goal. We'll let them decide that, I think.
Looking at the U.S. shot sheet, though, the game shot sheet, U.S. at 9 shots, Sweden at 5 before that, so it's not for lack of opportunities here. U.S. getting some looks on goal. Sweden, which has been struggling in front of goal this entire tournament, much sharper today.
The US needs something to bite at before going in at half-time. Something like 8 minutes to the break. Shell-shocked, I think, the USA at the moment. Rapinoe with a deep ball, too deep, out of play. Nobody can get on the end of that. The United States have never come back from 2 down to win or even draw at the Women's World Cup. Now's a good time to start.
Has the U.S. ever been 2 down? Where did that stat come from?
Well, they have when they've lost 4-0 to Brazil in the semi-final.
Oh, yes. That one I repressed,
yes,
apparently.
4 years ago. Very tough for Amy Lepelbeck there, who might have been red-carded in that. And it would have been harsh, but it could have been a red card in the first penalty incident. And then, of course, it comes off her knee and goes in for goal number 2.
So here's some things Pia Sundhagen's having to weigh, too, because U.S. is already in. This is determining where they fall and who they play. They will play Brazil if they lose this. So she's thinking, do I need to get Abby Wambach out? Do I need to rest her? Right? Taking away one of your biggest scoring options. Do I need to rest a Carly Lloyd who's played full 90 minutes of both games? Do I need to get one of my backs out who's struggling a little bit maybe? Only allowed 3 subs.
Been tough in there so far for Carly Lloyd and Shannon Box in the centre of midfield. Lepelbeck. Lloyd just a bit too far ahead of Rodriguez, and Lindahl can collect it. She was in the squad in 2003 when Sweden did reach the final. She didn't actually play in that tournament. (2-0), but I wouldn't write the USA out of this completely yet. Not with this long to go.
No, not at all. I think it's a good opportunity for them to show how they can crawl out, because they do have that in them. That's the U.S. mentality.
Wambach. Carefully policed all the time by the experienced Sarah Larson, who has over 100 caps in the middle of that defence. Another one part of the 2003 squad that reached the final. She played, started the final, the number 7 there. Christy Rampone. The USA have been a little unlucky not to get one themselves, it should be said. It's played long, it needs a back header. And it's punched away by the goalkeeper. Lloyd was denied. Looked like she might have stabbed that home from close range, but nothing is going for the US so far here. Rapinoe. Big decisions for Pia Sundhagen maybe to make at half-time. Krieger's cross. Easily away by Lolin. Shannon Box helping on. Here she is again. This time hacked almost anywhere by Sarah Larson out of harm's way. Sweden desperate to get to half-time. If it stays like this, Sweden will go into a quarter-final with Australia. They'd fancy their chances in that one. And the USA would have to play Brazil, one of the tournament favourites in the quarter-final.
And I think 2 things Sundhage will look at is Alex Morgan sitting on that bench with her speed. How do you get her inserted? She's going to come in is my guess. And the second one is I would bring in a Lori Lindsay for like a Carly Lloyd, who hasn't had a rest, because she's going to settle this game down. You need someone in midfield to put their foot on the ball and give you a little possession, because the U.S. hasn't had any rhythm in this last 30 minutes.
There is a danger in chasing the game that you try to force things too much rather than just relying on patient build-up and possession.
And the other one they might look at, which we've been hearing, is Becky Sauerbrunn. There's a player they've really liked. She would come in as a center back.
Cheney, it's all a bit congested there. Rapinoe, good contact, but not good accuracy from the Californian.
And here's the opportunity on the set piece. Abby didn't even get something on it, but Carly does really well to even get that on frame. Many would have waited and tried to hit it with their instep. She just stabs it. Lindahl with the reaction save on the line.
It was very good goalkeeping, actually, because she had Rodriguez standing right in front of her. More World Cup action on Saturday, 2:15 Eastern on ESPN. Germany, the host nation, taking on Japan in the quarterfinals. Also available, of course, on ESPN3.com online if that works better for you. Well, he'll be a very happy man. He'll be starting to think if we can play like this, we might even win this thing.
They sure have looked sharp.
Been the better side, it has to be said, in this first half. Box asking a lot of Rapinoe, who doesn't have the pace of O'Reilly on that side, so probably needs the ball to her feet most of the time.
No, she's not going to take it in line as much. A creative player, but not as fast as Heo. But I think this is a big reason for the change tonight, right there. Erkvist for Sweden. When you play her up top with Shailene, another very talented striker, that's a very powerful strike duo.
It's a better mix, isn't it? All the skill of Shailene and the speed of Erkvist, whereas Landstrom tends to be a bit more of the target woman type striker.
Landstrom would have been an easier handle for the U.S.
Kept in play by Rolene, so no corner. Can the USA claw one back before the break? Rampone playing it in. Again, unable so far tonight to work any clear chance at all for Abby Wambach with 118 international goals for the USA, stuck on 118.
And mind you, this is a Sweden that's playing this well without Sager, who's out with her yellow cards. She's missing this game due to 2 yellow cards, so Caroline Sager's not even in that midfield for the Swedish team tonight.
She was the top scorer in qualifying, by the way, the midfield player, so that would strengthen Sweden again. Cheney, it's possible she could be switched to an out-and-out striker later on. That's one of the variations available to Pia Sundhage. There are plenty of variations. What she has to do is work out which one of them might have an effect. Here's Lapelbet. Cheney needs a different angle ball in than that usually to upset a well-organised defence. Easy for the defenders with the ball coming straight at them like that.
And one not at the neck. That's always a challenge to bring down.
I think it's a long, long ball for Rapinoe to chase, and she's not going to reach it either. Much to ponder, but that's what coaches are paid for.
But Germany's sitting in the stands. I wonder what's going through their mind as they're seeing this. Because as we mentioned earlier, that could be a possible semifinal matchup, Germany and the U.S.
Well, they would love to avoid the United States, or maybe they wouldn't love to avoid the United States. Rapinoe, too long. Delivery not good enough for Rodriguez, well overhit. Well, a terrible first half for the United States. They had their chances. Amy Rodriguez might have scored, and Lauren Cheney as well. As it is, they're staring down the barrel. 2-0 down at the break. A Dahlqvist penalty starting all the trouble. Lots to analyse at the break. 2-0 at half-time.
Look at that guy's hair. I should grow mine out. I love some curly golden locks. Then I'll buy a convertible so my flowing mane can flutter in the summer breeze. I better call Allstate. Something could happen to the convertible, especially with the other drivers distracted by my hair that I have to assume will come in thick, blonde, and curly.
Dollar for dollar, nobody protects you like Allstate.
If you're looking at a home security system, or even if you already have one, ADT can give you so much more. Now you can easily arm and disarm your system right from your cell phone, even turn on your lights. You can also count on fast alarm response from our advanced network of monitoring centers, plus great local service, ADT's theft protection guarantee, and a money-back guarantee if you're not completely satisfied. And you can get all this and more for just over $1 a day. A single ADT system can help protect you from burglary, fire, and high levels of carbon monoxide. When an alarm is received, ADT responds quickly, calling local authorities for help. You can even add new technology, like ADT Pulse Interactive Solutions. Now you can know what's happening in your home by actually seeing it on your cell phone or computer. Even if you already have a security system, it's easy to add ADT monitoring. Get ADT's Essentials Plus system installed for $99.
It's peace of mind that can also save your life.
ADT, always there.
Many brave men have been swallowed up here. In sand and wind they fell. But triumph comes to the challenger who chooses their weapon well. The Open Championship, July 14th through the 17th on ESPN.
Freak accidents. Caught on tape.
We're going down. This might be the end.
We break it down and find out how did they survive. The Indestructibles, a new series, Sunday at 10 on the National Geographic Channel.
Transformers are back, and so is their bacon cheddar ranch tender crisp.